Stan Lee was the creator of Heroes, a man whose imagination brought us characters known and followed the world over, and a multi-billion-dollar industry. Marvel was his baby, its fans, his fans, now in mourning. Marvel was practically in Stan Lee's DNA. Starting at the bottom, he had worked his way up. From writer, he soared upwards to eventually become publisher and chairman of the comic book powerhouse, co-creating some of the most well-known and well-loved characters of modern times. Here in 2017, revealing how Spider-Man came to be born.
So I thought I had a good idea there. And I walked into my publisher's office and I told him all about it. And my publisher said, "Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard." So just for fun, to get it out of my system, I put Spider-Man in that last issue of Amazing Fantasy and forgot about it. A month later, after all the sales figures came in, my boss kept running into my office and he said, Stan, you remember that character of yours, Spider-Man, that we both liked so much?" He said, "Let's make it a regular feature."
Probably the best way to visualize Stan Lee's legacy is to just look at all of this. Without him, there would have been no Incredible Hulk, there'd have been no Doctor Strange, no X-Men. Spider-Man would never have existed, nor Iron Man. Not only did he have a huge impact on the world of comic books, but also movies. You know, Hollywood has a lot to thank him for.
Franchises like X-Men spawning more than a dozen movies alone, and that's before you take into account all the others he had a hand in too.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
Like Captain America, these films, all bestsellers, billions taken at the box office.
I could do this all day.
Disney buying the company for $4 billion in 2009. Stan Lee still very much the face though, even making cameo appearances. And claiming a first in the comic book come Hollywood movie category with this film, Black Panther.
What I find fascinating is that eventually Black Panther came out, and that was the first big mega Hollywood studio movie with a basically all-black cast. And for that to come out of Stan Lee's arsenal is pretty powerful and pretty impactful.
He came from New York, but Hollywood adopted Stan Lee. Honoured here in 2017, he was well into his 90s when he took his place on the Walk of Fame.
He made it more about the person under the costume instead of the one wearing the costume.
And for Stan Lee's fans, there was little he could do wrong. Comic-Con events giving them the chance to line up for hours just to meet him.
Every year I find myself coming here because I want to do somebody a favor, but while I'm here, I might as well do everything I can, and I feel like an idiot.
And that will be what Stan Lee leaves behind. An industry that he helped to define, an industry that he dominated, with characters that he loved, as will millions more for years to come.